Greetings everyone, welcome back. It's internationalvin.com. Today I'm going to talk about my inspiration of a one-person business or building your personal brand. And I'm going to tell you that story today. So my inspiration came when I was living in the Twin Cities in Minnesota about 2016. I had just experienced a job loss the previous 6 months, and I started to kind of take some time out to ponder my future moves and what I wanted to do, etc. So in my fixer-upper home in St. Paul, I started to YouTube and podcast binge, where I came across a guy named Johnny FD, an Asian American in his 30s living in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And through his blog, his YouTube channel, and his Travel Like a Boss podcast, I truly got to understand his very inspirational story. And let me tell you a little bit about it. So Johnny FD is an Asian American who grew up in San Francisco, California, and was raised by his Taiwanese parents. He eventually went off to college in the early 2000s, and I believe he graduated in 2004 from the University of California, Irvine. And after college, of course, he worked for a large corporate company, and he got bored pretty quickly. And by 2006, along with his cousin, he decided to make a trip to Thailand. And because he was working, he could only afford a 2-week vacation. And so in Thailand, he enjoyed it so much that he returned to California, sold all of his belongings, and bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. And in Thailand, he indulged in his scuba diving and dabbled in Muay Thai kickboxing for the next couple years. However, before you know it, he started to realize that he was running out of money and he couldn't afford a ticket. And in living in Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is the northern part of Thailand, and he was kind of passing by, just barely, getting by and just surviving, so to speak. And that's when he met his inspiration named Anton Kraly, the founder of Dropship Lifestyle. It's a course that teaches you how to create a dropship business, an online business, an e-commerce business selling products, large, high-ticket items. And so eventually, the two became friends. They hung out in Chiang Mai, where Anton started to teach Johnny how to create an online Shopify site, to find and seek out suppliers and start building a business. And so within months, he started to make profit and eventually was netting about $2,000 to $5,000 a month in profit. And while that doesn't sound a lot, it was a lot to him because his expenses were so low living in Thailand, where his total expenses were about $500 to $600 a month. So he was able to quickly stock away cash. And eventually he built a name for himself as he documented his dropshipping and e-commerce, his lifestyle, living as a digital nomad based in Chiang Mai. He eventually made $30,000, and then he started to sell his businesses, eventually selling up to 3 e-commerce stores. And so that gave him a long runway, maybe I think $300,000 eventually in his bank. So with all that money, he started to create content, wrote a few books, did affiliate marketing, and just living the life as a digital nomad, and eventually starting Nomad Summit, a 3-day conference in Chiang Mai that I eventually participated in 2018. So around 2016, I was coming across Johnny FD's content, where I was so inspired because he made it look so easy. He's living abroad in these exotic places, making a lot of money online. he kind of defied the corporate lifestyle, which really resonated with me because I had just lost my job at corporate and I wasn't happy doing a 9 to 5. So that was really an inspiration to me. And eventually by 2017, I had the courage to sell my belongings and save up some money and bought a one-way ticket to Chiang Mai 2. And so I started there, I believe it was August of 2017, where I started my dropshipping businesses, and I eventually met Johnny and befriended him in 2018 at the Nomad Summit. And we became friends, and I got to know him better in 2019 when I participated in his dropshipping boot camp. So eventually I moved off to Vietnam, to Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City, and although I worked really hard the next 3 or 4 years on my e-commerce dropshipping businesses, I didn't see the success that Johnny was able to, and I eventually had to take a job in Ho Chi Minh City in manufacturing, exporting, and sourcing. So that's what I did until 2023. Anyways, Johnny FD was my inspiration about content marketing, building your personal brand, and building a one-person business. So to this day, I've created a lot of content in different categories. I'm sharing what I know, my knowledge, my expertise, which happens to be becoming a customs broker, import, export, and supply chain certifications, as well as China and Vietnam expertise. Since I studied China, I lived abroad, and I did a lot of work in both countries. And so that is what my expertise is, and that's what I kind of help people with in terms of knowledge and education. So that's all to say that I've started a new LinkedIn newsletter called One Person Business: How to Monetize Your Skills and Knowledge. So through this newsletter, if you want to follow, link in the description, you can follow my journey where I share the tactics, the strategies, etc. on how to monetize, how to productize your knowledge. Everyone has expertise, whether you're in real estate, the health field, you're an engineer, computer science, anything, right? You've studied hard, you've got a lot of experience, and you want to monetize that. So I'm here to show you, to teach you how you can monetize that skill set. So there are a lot of steps, there's a lot of ways to do it, and you have to put it all together. One being building traffic, 2 having copywriting, 3 building the landing page, etc., etc. So there's lots of facets to do this, and in my newest newsletter I share those strategies. So please do check that out. So that's it for now. Thank you very much, and see you on the next one.